mentioned, they did just issue the tornado warning to continue for a few more towns up until about 8:30 this evening. Joe made some great points, and he's been following the storm since its birth back in eastern, northwestern, I should say, parts of Worcester County, and now it's become so strong, he's terming it as a supercell, which is really just a very powerful, well-oiled machine, if you will, of a thunderstorm, capable of the straight-line wind damage and the possible tornadic conditions. He also mentioned a hook echo that Doppler radar was picking up on, and that would be down in here in this flank right in here of the storm. It's basically curling all the way around, so you're getting some of that intense rotation right in here, and it's actually, you know, creating this hook down there, and that's where the tornado is possible. So that's really right over, it looks like, parts of Princeton, East Princeton, right there, and approaching Sterling, and then perhaps even the Wachusett Reservoir, which is down in here. So places like Sterling Junction, there you have it, Oakdale, Boylston. We're watching you very closely as the storm continues to move to the south and east, Jack. Yeah, we have a report now coming out of Shirley, which is just north of Leominster. Sergeant Peter Violet there is the Shirley Police Department. Sergeant, can you hear me all right?
Yes, I can, Jack.
Well, has the storm passed you by?
No, it's actually in Leominster right now. It's slowly approaching.
And what? Give me some observations. What are you seeing, Sergeant?
Basically, at this time, we're just, it's kind of still light out, but it's raining very heavily, and there's been prior thunder to the approach.
Yeah, this is pretty frightening. Have you had any high winds yet?
We haven't experienced any high winds at this time, but just with heavy downpours at this moment.
How about lightning strikes, Peter?
We've had previous couple of lightning strikes, but it's mostly just thunder and heavy rains at this point.
Now, exactly, I've been to Shirley before, but remind me, where is that exactly from Leominster? Where are you on? You're not seeing the map we are, but we're now zeroing in pretty much on Leominster.
Shirley is actually right east of Leominster on Route 2. Okay.
So it really is coming sort of your way. Any other observations for us, Sergeant?
No, not at this time. It's just the heavy rains and the thunder. With the fire department has two crews, one at the central station and their second central headquarters.
Well, we wish you the very best, and to all of the fine people there, and to be very careful. Do you have any pieces of advice for people?
Just advice, just to pay attention to the television and the weather reports that are being transmitted at this time.
Sergeant Peter Violet of the Shirley Police Department. Thanks, Sergeant, and good luck.
All right, thank you.
Well, that's it. We can see it now. So he is just east on that corridor. It's interesting. This cell has been moving right along the old Mohawk Trail, very famous going back before Massachusetts became a Commonwealth, became then Route 2. Heavily traveled, it's a heavily populated area, a beautiful part of the state as it's moving in. Clinton would be next, where I remember all of the town meetings we had there years ago. So keep yourself informed. Keep your eye to the sky. I've only been in a couple of fairly minor tornadoes, but I'll tell you, when one came near us, you could feel it. Things turned almost like green, and there was like a roaring freight train. Just be very aware, and if that happens, get to your basement right now. Okay, Todd, so what up-to-date do you have?
Well, Jack, the warning again for this tornado is still in place until 8:30. And I'm just looking at all these lightning strikes. They do lag behind the cell itself by a couple of minutes. But by watching the lightning strikes, and you kind of get a good determination of whether this storm is showing signs of weakening or even strengthening. And as of right now, you know, if you look at the path, they're pretty dense up here near Fitchburg when it came through. They're pretty dense as it approached Leominster, and now that it's getting closer to Lancaster and Clinton, it's still fairly dense, and there are more flashing up right there. There was just one, another one back there. So I'd say until we start to see some of these lightning strikes sort of diminish in intensity moving forward, this storm at the moment isn't really showing much of a sign of weakening, and that's really a part of the reason why the National Weather Service extended the tornado warning for this cell.
If you're just tuning in, we have a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado in northern and now northeastern parts of Worcester County. This is in place until 8:30 this evening. Doppler radar is indicating a severe thunderstorm that could be producing a funnel cloud or a tornado located very close to Leominster at this moment and moving to the southeast at 20 miles per hour. Some of the towns that are in the path of this particular storm, Sterling, Lancaster, and Clinton. You can see them right here, lined up right in the row. And they are in this red box, this red polygon, which is where the tornado warning is up for. You can see that includes part of the Wachusett Reservoir, which is right in here, this body of water right here. That's the Wachusett Reservoir. And this is in place until 8:30 this evening. When a tornado warning is issued based on Doppler radar, it means that a tornado is already on the ground or is expected to develop shortly or is imminent, okay? So that means take cover immediately. You want to move to an interior room on the lowest level of a sturdy building. You want to avoid windows. If you happen to own or live in a mobile home, or if you're in a vehicle that's outdoors, you want to move to the closest substantial shelter. The closest substantial shelter that you can find to protect yourself from flying debris. In a house, the best place to be would be in a basement. Particularly a good foundation, a concrete foundation is the best shelter that you can find. If you do not have a basement in your home or your shelter, then on the first floor, that's where you want to be. The first floor, away from windows, away from doors, that could be a source for flying debris. Now, on that first floor, a good spot would be the interior room, such as a bathroom. The plumbing in a bathroom alone will provide you with some protection. Some of the old homes that have been standing up there in northern Worcester County for quite some time, some of those old Victorians, those beautiful, beautiful homes up there. They may have a porcelain tub, another very safe place to be because of the strength of that porcelain. If you're going to lay down in the tub, grab a pillow on your way in, grab a mattress if you can, and lay it on top of you. That should help to protect you from flying debris if there is any in the area. Again, tornado warning in place from the National Weather Service for central Worcester County, and including the city of Leominster, until 8:30 this evening. Now, Doppler radar is indicating the potential for a tornado, but that doesn't mean that that's the only thing that could occur from this storm. We are absolutely seeing some damaging straight-line winds. We are most likely seeing hail, potentially up to the size of golf balls. And we are certainly seeing frequent lightning, which we're getting right here on our lightning strike detector, and very heavy downpours. This is in place until 8:30 this evening, and includes the towns of Leominster, which is now moving through the southern part of the city limits of Leominster, into Lancaster and into Clinton. Sterling, right in here, could get clipped. Boylston, northern parts of the Wachusett Reservoir as well. It's approaching the 290 belt here and the 495 interchange, which would be Berlin and Bolton. Some beautiful farmland out in here. This is a very dangerous storm capable of producing all kinds of damage. So you want to seek shelter immediately if you're in the path of this particular storm. I'm going to widen out a little bit, and I'm going to put this into motion. I'm going to give you a little loop. You get an idea of where it came from and where it's going. And it's moving in a southeasterly fashion, move right through, right over Route 2 back in Gardner. It's moved through the western city limits of Fitchburg, western city limits of Leominster, and down through, it looks like now getting closer to Sterling and Clinton at this moment, and the Wachusett Reservoir. I-190 is running right up through here into Leominster. Fairly heavily traveled road. Moving right over that corridor right now, the 190 corridor, approaching Clinton and also getting into Lancaster right now. This storm has had a history, National Weather Service told us, has a history of producing some hail. At the time, only pea-sized hail, but we're